Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of MRN Outloud. I'm Woody Cain. The NASCAR playoffs head to Kansas Speedway this weekend. All three NASCAR National Touring Series are in action, but we're going to start off this week with the Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series. Three-time defending champ Matt Crafton joins us. He won last time we were at Kansas Speedway. And later, we'll finish up with Joey Logano on how the track has changed over the years. And then Clint Bowyer, you might have heard that he's stepping down at the end of the season or stepping up into the Fox broadcast booth for TV starting next year. We'll ask him about his memories of Kansas Speedway as he prepares to make his last start there as a Cup driver. It's all ahead on MRN Out Loud. Stay with us.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTire.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
We're joined now by former Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series champ Matt Crafton now as we get ready to head to Kansas. And I say former, Matt, because you're right in the thick of it this year, headed to Kansas where you won last time we were there. With the reset button being pushed, man, you got to kind of feel like this is a whole new lease on life. And after winning there earlier, you got something for these guys.
Oh, absolutely. That middle part of the season was really good for us. We had a lot of speed. We finished fourth in the first race, then the doubleheader, and then we won there. And then right before that, we had went on that stretch of top three finishes at Kansas or Kentucky and Texas. So had a lot of momentum going there, and our mile-and-a-half program is very good right now. So really looking forward to that.
Tell me about that race, because at the end of it, afterward, it had broken a long winless streak for you guys, and you discussed the situation where you had a real dogfight with Christian Eckes coming down the stretch, and you kept talking about he was kind of pushing you hard and making you overdrive it just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. His truck had really good speed, and our truck that day, it was middle of the day race, so we'd set it up to run on a longer run and not so much on the shorter run. And throughout the day, we did that. And we always had good speed at the end of the run. But then I had to go so hard at the beginning of a run. And at the end of the day, it was just I kept watching my mirror and just knew if I kept stealing his line, I knew if he got ahead of me, it'd be really hard to pass because we didn't have enough time left in the race. So it was definitely one of those lane sensitive, just arrow-wise, if I could steal his lane. But what's so awesome about Kansas is you have so many options as the groove widens out so much. That's the first time we've raced there during the middle of the day and had that hot, slippery racetrack. So that's what I loved about it. And I was looking at the weather this weekend. It's not going to be as hot and slippery as it was when we were there last time, but we're looking forward to it.
A late afternoon start, but give folks an idea. You mentioned the track there, how it's changed over the last, 5, 6 years. It really seems like it's widened out a good bit.
Oh, it's widened out a lot, and that place has gotten really, really racy. You can run at the bottom of the racetrack, you can run at the middle of the racetrack, and it's very ideal with the seams. Just learning how to use the seams to your advantage, or it could be a really disadvantage to you as well. It seems like if you get your right front tire hooked in one of those seams, it'll make the thing push one lap, and next thing you hook your right rear in it, and it'll make it really loose. So it's very line sensitive and seam sensitive, as we want to call it there. So I love going there each and every year, especially because that asphalt's wore out and slipping and sliding now.
So, Matt, the other thing about that Kansas race, we mentioned it broke a long drought for you guys. How challenging was that stretch where you still had speed at certain places, but you just couldn't seem to get the brakes or be as consistent as you had been before? How challenging was that for you? I mean, you've done this before, and every racer goes through bad stretches.
I mean, I had to give you guys something to talk about. I mean, at the end of the day, it wore you out just having to listen to you guys more than it was to listen and have to deal with yourself on the whole deal. Because, I mean, every week it wasn't, you've been running really good lately. It's been, it's been this long since you went. Yes, I know it's been that long. I sleep with it every night. So at the end of the day, I'm glad I got to finally shut everybody up again.
So let's talk about the rest of this round. You also have Texas and Martinsville, another 1.5 miles in Texas, although it's different than it used to be. But style-wise of these tracks, it seems like it fits you guys pretty well. How do you see it?
Yeah, it in the past, Texas hadn't, like, well, in the past, on the old racetrack, it was really good for us. We've got some cowboy hats to prove that. But the new racetrack, at first, it didn't like us at all. And in last year and the first race this year, we really, really ran well. I think we finished third and had a lot of speed. So really looking forward to going there as well. Martinsville, I know we've got some grandfather clocks to know that we've ran good there as well. So the next three, I've got a lot of confidence going in. Phoenix I've won race there in late models. I've never won a truck race there. I came close. I've led a lot of laps there. So if we go to Phoenix, we can make it to Phoenix, they'll have their hand full with us.
I bet they will. In fact, I saw some social media stuff of you from the old Southwest tour back in the day when you were a young, fresh-faced kid. Just
You're telling me I'm not young and fresh-faced anymore?
Well, look, I'm not either. You see all this gray in here, right? We're in the same boat right now. But that has to bring back a lot of memories for you, that whole experience.
Oh, absolutely. You know how sweet it would be. I mean, it's always been really sweet to go to Homestead and win championship there. But to be able to do it in Phoenix, that's where, I won my first Southwest Tour championship, my only Southwest Tour championship. And that's close to the West Coast as we get. And I had a lot of friends and family, a lot of friends in Phoenix. And to be able to do it in front of there, all the history I've had there, my dad's raced there for so long. And I think mid-'80s when first time I went there, about 85, 86. I remember going there. I have pictures of my dad racing there when it was actually guardrail around it. I have pictures of my dad's car lined up on the front straightaway with a guardrail fence around the place. So that just shows, at least I wasn't driving then. And then at that point, then I'm really old. But I just have a lot of really awesome memories about that place, and just be really sweet to be able to say we won a championship at Phoenix.
You know, this final 8 drivers in the truck playoffs now, there's a really good mix of young guys, former champions, and you've been together so long with your team. How much of an advantage is that versus a guy who may be really fast, but they haven't been together all that long when you get into this battle here over these next 3 to make it to that championship 4?
Just having the group of guys that's been with you, that you won championships with, you won a lot of races with, that brings a lot of confidence. But I can tell you one thing, that the ones that haven't won a championship, I can remember in 2013, the year that I won my first championship, my God, from June, July on, I used to lie to you guys and tell you guys slept good and I'm just fine and very comfortable. There was not one night that I didn't wake up 5-6 times and figuring out how I could lose this championship. So for all those guys that haven't won a championship, I hope that weighs on them. They don't sleep very much, because I used to not. And I'm glad at least I got that first one under my belt. And I can promise you one thing, I will sleep just fine until that night.
Been there, done that. But I remember, too, talking to you at that time, and you didn't even want to talk about the championship race at all for fear of jinxing yourself. Are you still a real superstitious guy, or no, not so much now?
Oh, no, absolutely. I just don't talk about it. And my theory is in that it's not that I'm really superstitious about it. It's just I want to go out there and take the job. I mean, it's in front of you. Take the task that's in hand and do your best job there. And I was talking to Todd Gillen before Talladega, and I was over at their shop, and we were talking, and you could see that kid was just nervous. And I just told him, Todd, if it's meant to be, it'll be. And if it's not, it's not. And I mean, poor thing, they ended up blowing up, and it was nothing that he could do different. But if it's meant to be, it'll be. Just go out there and race your guts out, try to race smart, and be there at the end. Just a task at hand and go from there.
Good luck in Kansas. You already won there once this year. Hopefully we'll see another great race this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, it did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
Welcome back to MRN Out Loud. Let's talk to a couple of Cup drivers now as they prepare to take on Kansas Speedway. First up, Joey Logano. He describes how the track has changed over the years.
Yeah, it's been quite a few years now since it's kind of widened out. I remember, I guess it was 5 years ago. Maybe I always remember this. I remember Jamie McMurray venturing up into the third groove, and that was no man's territory at the time. And he went by me like I was sitting still, and I said, "Oh, there's something going on up there." And then we went up there that race, and that same race we won. So I remember that kind of being that moment where Kansas widened out, and now with this rules package we have there, it's insane because you're almost wide open. The leader can be wide open. If you're in dirty air, you're lifting just a little bit. The runs you get off the top side are just crazy. And it makes restarts insane, kind of like Vegas is. It's a lot like Vegas right now where this rules package just makes it nuts.
Next up is Clint Bowyer. Now, you may have heard the announcement he made last week that he will be stepping down as a Cup driver after this season to join the Fox broadcast booth on the TV side. However, this will be his last start at Kansas Speedway as a full-time Cup driver, and Ford Performance had an availability with Clint earlier. I had a chance to ask him about that.
You know, Kansas, a lot of great memories. My first memory was 2001, sitting, on top of a motorhome with a beer in my hand, watching Jeff Gordon win the first race. Now I'm going to be lining up next to him in the booth next year. It's all kind of coming full circle. It really is weird how life, works, and it's still working for me. Those opportunities are still there. And I read, wrote that letter in my office a few days ago that I posted, and it's just so real. It all just always seems like it fits. It's time, right? I think everybody in life wants to just get by with, man, one more year, right? One more year, one more lap. But you might pass by that golden opportunity that was the right opportunity. And for me, it was just way too clear that was the right opportunity for me, and come hell or high water, that's what I needed to do. But going back to Kansas, looking forward to, again, just putting a cap on a wonderful track. It's been a bear for me. One of my worst tracks. That sucks so bad. Like, there's nothing worse. Why can't the Roval be Kansas Speedway? You know what I mean? Or something like that where I'm good, a short track, where I've had really good success over the years. But damn it, it's not over, Woody. I'm going to come there. I'm going to bust their ass this weekend. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but it's going to happen. Write it down.
Well, that's all the time we've got on this week's edition of MRN Out Loud. We want to thank Matt Crafton from the Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series, the defending champ and defending Kansas winner. Also, Joey Logano and Clint Bowyer, two of the Cup drivers, getting set to take on Kansas this coming Sunday. We also have Xfinity Series racing and even ARCA racing coming up from Kansas this weekend. Check MRN.com to find out the complete weekend schedule and a whole lot more. Until we see you right back here next week, I'm Woody Cain.